The Browns, they go on to win this. Even though the score says 41-35, the Browns won this convincingly from the start. I want to hear from Baker Mayfield because he always has something interesting to say.
Just realizing what I'm capable of. I've always believed in myself. I'm not going to pay attention to the BS, just put my head down and work. You know, the job's not finished yet, but playing confident and being who I am, not looking for any approval on the outside, is how I've always been the best at what I've done. And so that's how I need to do it. I can't let people change me because somebody did it different in the past.
Huge win for Baker Mayfield and company. Here's how the AFC breaks down after that W. Cleveland 9-3 for the first time since 1994 when Baker Mayfield was not even alive yet. And they're sitting in that 5 seed. If the playoffs start right now, it would be a rematch for the Titans in the playoffs. They'd get another shot at the Browns. Yeah, huge road win.
Look at those 3 games.
Like it.
For Cleveland.
Fun graphic.
Yeah, that's 4 straight road wins for them, by the way. Can the Browns compete with the big dogs, Kyle, in the AFC?
Dolphins-Bills would be tasty, too.
Yeah.
It's a great question and a great weekend for the Cleveland Browns. My weekend started really strange. On Friday, I was invited onto First Take on ESPN on behalf of the show. I'm introduced.
What is that? I don't know.
First Take. It is a talk show that has Max Kellerman and Molly Karam and Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. Okay, and they argue about sports stuff.
Never seen it. All right.
Different network, different time. But they introduced me and they say, Peter Strager and Kay Adams and Nate Burrows and Good Morning Football. And then they accused me of being a liar right to my face on the air because they said, do you believe in the Browns? Kind of like we are now. And I said, you know, I believe that they got to prove that they have a big-time quarterback. And Stephen A. Smith, who is a guy who's been on ESPN for a long time, Philadelphia Inquirer, he said, I watch your show every morning. I love the show. I love the show. I love Kay. I love Peter. I love Nate. And you disrespect our show by coming in here and lying to our face that you don't know if Baker's a big-time quarterback. We already know he's not. And then Max chime in and said, we all know he's not. He's nothing. And they get crazy on that show. They really go big. There seems to be a thing where they fight with each other, and some people think that they predetermined it. I don't. But they were screaming at me for being a liar because I thought just Baker has to prove that he's good. Well, Stephen A., he had 4 touchdowns in the first half. So if you want to give me some of those chocolate chip cookies you eat to when the Cowboys lose, I'll take 1 for each touchdown. 4 of them. Baker Mayfield, Kate, to answer your question, I consider the Titans one of the big dogs. I do. I think that they are playoff tested and gritty as hell. And the Browns smacked the hell out of them. We got lineman touchdowns. We got everything. The only thing the Browns have really working against them, in my opinion, is a couple really ugly losses in the division. One was 3 months ago. One was 2 months ago. They're 9-3. 9-3 for the Browns is 19-0 for the Packers or Seahawks. And 9-3 is 19-0. I believe.
You believe what? Hold on.
I believe they can hang with the big dogs. Yeah, I can believe they can win a couple playoff games.
Win a couple playoff
games.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Baker Mayfield was balling out, but I have to give credit to Kevin Stefanski. Phenomenal game plan. The way he came into this game, it wasn't what we expected. We knew that they could run the ball, but because everybody was expecting this strong run game, it seemed like they based their attack off of that. And some of these plays are impressive. It wasn't just the trick plays, it was also the play action. I mean, just check out. You got the handoff to Chubb. He flips it to Jarvis Landry. Jarvis takes a hit, and you get a toe drag flag on the sideline with Baker Mayfield. I'll see you tomorrow. But check this out. Listen,
Look at Baker, so casual.
Baker, so casual. Watch this. Jarvis takes a shot. Boom. See Jarvis just each one so he could deliver that rock. And then we saw the trick play in the back of the end zone. Kendall Lamb, big fella, out there catches the rock. So for me, you go into this game, you're like, it's going to be hardcore running versus hardcore running. Kevin Stefanski, he knew exactly what the Titans were expecting, and he mixed it up. You talk about a mixed bag, you do that segment, Shakes. He dig deep into that mixed bag and had a great game plan.
First off, I'd like to address Kendrick Perkins, who I have beef with. He was on First Take the other day talking about James Harden, how he won't win the big one. James Harden was a Game 7 away from beating the Warriors.
Hey, Perkins be beefing.
I know. I don't want to mess with
Perk was on Friday, too. Ben Simmons, no mid-major jumper.
I'm not messing with Perk, and I'm not messing with the Browns either.
Okay.
The Browns showed me something yesterday. We hyped up Henry versus Chubb and Hunt all week. Derrick Henry's face was on a milk carton yesterday.
Whoa, was Baskin.
Was Derrick Henry in this game?
God.
And he's big.
Here's early in the game. It's his first fumble on 307. He had 60 yards total yesterday, and a lot of it didn't matter when the game was actually in contention. The Browns defense was flying all over the field, and I had the Taki jersey. Taki was out there, yes, but it was everyone. And I got to give credit to Nate. You went to the offensive side of the ball. Their defensive coordinator, Joe Woods, was doing things I haven't seen any defensive coordinator do to Derrick Henry. They bottled them up, but
Yep.
they also made Tannehill beat them in ways that Tannehill just couldn't. Look at
This is a
Henry.
great stat.
Over the last 2 years has been so good in December.
Such a
Brown said
crazy
no.
number.
And then let's introduce Joe Woods because we're going to
Please.
talk a lot of offensive whiz kids as Joe Woods comes from the Robert Saleh and Shanahan tree there. He was the Broncos defensive coordinator for 2 years. And before that was with the Vikings, Raiders, and Broncos. He coached with Stefanski for 7 years. These guys know each other so well. And if you're going to stop Mahomes and you're going to stop Roethlisberger and Claypool in that gang,
Can they?
and you're going to, I think they can because they could control the ball early with that run game and their defense is really good. I know they lost those games early on, but kind of in on the Browns.
He plays huge, this Woods guy. I'm glad that you introduced him because the defense is what kind of freaks me out a little bit. They have some big, they give up 35 points. I mean,
Oh,
in
no, that was all
division.
garbage time.
No, not
Yeah.
yesterday. I'm
30.
talking
Definitely
about
was.
in the division, right? They lost against the Ravens and Steelers by a combined score of 73-13. Woods, hopefully Garrett being out there was huge. Stefanski saying, I know like he was obviously on COVID-19 reserve, but he's coming out there. I don't see an ounce less of energy out of him. All those things are going to play huge.
I'm asking you, can a team...
Is it an opportunistic defense?
Yeah, they were awesome yesterday.
Yeah.
My question
Can-
is, like, what they did in September and October, I think we're still
So
have
long
to see,
ago.
right? But we have
Yeah.
to see. They have to play the Steelers
Yeah.
again. They got to play the Ravens, right, again.
So when you guys are in on that,
I am in
Can we
on
play a little trust game here for a little bit? I don't really need this. Oh, I guess we can look at the schedule.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's huge.
they've got this is where I am. They have one of the big brothers next week. I want to believe in them, but if you slip up against a struggling Ravens team, we're going to be right back to where we were like in September. So I don't want to get there. I ask you guys, do you have more trust in them, Kyle? I'll give you a team here.
Okay.
Than the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
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 Way more trust.
You got, the Cleveland Browns as an organization, they haven't been 9-3 in like 26 years.
everything.
They just don't do it.
Do you
This
trust
is
them more
different.
than the Buccaneers?
More than the Dolphins, and certainly a hell of a lot more than the Titans, who they just beat and were up by 6 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes. I mean, this is a huge day to like credit the Browns.
100%.
Yes, I do trust. I do trust.
Do we trust them more than the Vikings?
Yeah.
Separate conference, but absolutely. I mean, they got 3 losses, and Derrick Henry is an MVP candidate.
Crazy.
Did nothing.
And he never
6 yards
fumbles.
is
Derrick Henry doesn't
crazy.
fumble.
Well, we love to see it. Browns 9-3. Enjoy it. Big one against the Ravens this next week. I'm just trying to give I want to know. I like getting the gauge of where you guys are after wins and losses.
They play the
Now
Ravens.
we've
I
said-
don't know who I'm taking in that game. I need to see the Ravens Tuesday night, but the Ravens and
Yeah.
Steelers own the
Who's
Browns.
playing for the Ravens? Like, who's going to be out there?
know.
We don't even know.
I would expect you to say you have to see the Browns beat the Steelers or the Ravens for you to actually believe in them.
Perhaps. If they lay an egg against the Ravens, maybe I'll be like,
They're 9-3, man.
That was
They're
so
awesome.
What the
They've
Titans just
earned
did
the
to
right to make a
Colts-
mistake.
Yeah.